Shalom, shalom. I want to give all the glory and honor and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim of faith, doing the work in truth and in sincerity. I brought this out as lessons edifying and straight to the point. With the world's eyes on the Middle East from now on and forever, I want to harp on and jump into the book of Joel, chapter 3, and expound on that and through the Spirit, I'll jump around and speak on, different topics and scriptures, roughly paraphrasing here and there. Salakia. But I want to break out the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 9, before I begin with Joel. Wherefore the Most High Power also hath highly exalted him. Who's him? Yahushai, his only begotten Son. He's the most exalted. He's the tallest stature, in Israel. And given him a name which is above every name, Yahushai. He is delivered. He saves. He delivers. That at the name of Yahushai, every knee should bow, of things in heaven, things in earth, and things under the earth. Every tongue that shall confess Yahushai, Hamashiach Yahushai is Lord, to the glory of the power of the Father. Khan. It says, has highly exalted him. So in other words, no one's above the Lord and his only begotten Son. And everyone is going to know him. Then, Salakia. They're going to be exalted. And their name is only becoming more powerful and powerful as the time goes, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai are showing their judgment every morning. And as time goes, people are trying to figure out answers. They're lost. They're seeking counsel. They're doing things on the left-hand side. They're seeking. It says that should be a crime for wine in the streets. Yeah, there's mass confusion out here. These people are in a frenzy because they now see the end more than clear, but they want to save themselves, but they don't know Yahweh Shai is the only one that can save you, if you're the elect. After that, you just meant for judgment. So you just got to wait and await your judgment, and take what's meant for you, which is for these heathens and 2/3 of our people is judgment, man. Whether that may be in the valley of Jehoshaphat, whether that may be doing via famine, whether that may be in Jacob's trouble, whether that may be a laser beam from a chariot, nuclear debris, sword upon one another, earthquakes in diverse places, a flood, an animal tearing you apart, your own mind bringing you into derision and pretty much taking away your spirit. Yeah. So these are the times where we're in, that the Lord has all these different cards on the table. And the brothers in Iowa came out with this term. I believe they were the first ones, GMS Des Moines. A polycrisis, when you pretty much have a multiple crisis in one. Amos chapter 5, verse 8, roughly paraphrasing, speaking about how a bear met a lion. You put your hand on the wall and the bear met you. You try to run away and the serpent gets you. Yeah, there's no running away from judgment, especially from the Lord. It says his eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. It says he knows all of the hairs on our head. The earth has been exceedingly wicked ever since Adam and Eve, man, and things have only grown. It says the sins have reached unto the multitudes of heaven. So now it's time for the receipt to be cashed. Now it's time for the check to be cashed, Things don't just go off on a slate. And the Lord has given us history and time again to show us how, when society or someone or anything is not going well, how he justifies it, and it's via judgment. Whether if he has to kill you, hurt you, the point will be made and stored for the future, like we're reading now. The script, this tablet, the scroll, which is open unto us and revealed unto us. We can keep continuing in this thing and abound in this thing. Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Yahweh and Jerusalem, the northern and the southern kingdom, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is that what they call the Crescent the fertile Crescent in the so-called Middle East. I believe the elder Malcolm out of Chicago calls it Euro-Asia. The term Middle East is a made-up term, by Esau Edom for different narratives and reasons. I forget what was the brother's backing points on that, but the term Middle East is a very new term. I will also gather all nations and bring them down the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is meaning Jehoshaphat, the judgment of the Lord. Yahweh being the Lord's name, Shaphat is judgment. I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Yasharallah, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. Don't feel bad for anybody on the planet Earth that's going through things, man. Especially a damn heathen. These heathen, throughout history, they've traded us like cards in Pokemon, man. They did us like business, man. Whether if you an Indian that's getting shitted on, or you a Chinese man who's in the middle section of society, or a white man who's at the upper echelon, or Amalek who's at the upper echelon, you know what I'm saying? They all, from the top to the bottom, have looked at us and despised us and hated on us. When you got it, people gonna hate, man. We know that. We're humans. And part of my land, you know, doing all kind of business with our land, doing all kind of God knows what with our land. Got pedophiles hiding over there. They starting wars over there. They claiming land. They killing people. They slaying people in the name of BS. Yeah, the Lord wants payback for that. All that has accumulated. The Lord has given you a time to pretty much dance in your wickedness, and now it's time to pay for judgment. And they have cast lots for my people. These people do spells upon us just to keep us down. Psalms 83, they have consulted against us, man. These people can't hold us down by themselves. They have to come together to hold us down, man. They've done all this and we're still here. The Apostle Tahar and Gabar and Ariamlab and the Apostle Rakah, they got jumped out by some Amalekites years ago. And they stated what? They stated, we spent over $2 billion to hide this information from you guys. How the fuck did you guys get this? Because the scroll has been revealed unto him, that he may readeth, may runneth. So they ran and they spread a fire through the spirit, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, and from the men before them, like Abba Bivens, so forth and so on. This is the truth. This is definitely the truth, you know, from top to bottom. And how you know this is the truth? Because the elders and brothers of GMS, how you know this is the truth of the truth? Because you got Israel out here, and then you got you're gonna call it what it is. You got Israelite camps that are better than other Israelite camps. Yes, they're doing the work and they're helping to some cause and degree. By the end of the day, the 100% truth is the only thing that's appreciated, you know. So the fact that, you know, brothers have the 100% truth, on top of that, brothers never forsake wisdom, you know. Brothers don't just throw out wisdom and we're just gonna go by the book, you know. I'm not saying we're leaving out the book ever, but wisdom is never to be abandoned. The scriptures lets us know that, and that's how you get to see these different camps and their faults, because they don't use wisdom. They just want to go by the book and be perfect and always trying to look a certain way and be a certain way instead of actually, you know, doing what's said and what's needed, which is to teach the truth correctly and holy. Freely you were given it, freely you should give it back. Freely you were taught, freely you should teach. Roughly paraphrasing, have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah, the transatlantic slave trade, the Arabic slave trade. Yeah, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Have you coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly, speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver, my gold, have carried away into your temples my goodly pleasants. Who's his goodly pleasants? This is elect, of course, starting with them, his people. But they literally took the Lord's, they literally took our possessions, man. Not that we care about things that can corrupt on the planet Earth or that could collect dust, you know what I'm saying, where moth can lay up and whatnot. But they stole our menorahs, they stole all of our riches, man. You think the Lord had us being kings and daughters of Israel on planet Earth and didn't have the best of the best, the finest? You think we was wearing whatever the hell this is? Stop it. You think our house was painted and like this? As a king of the Lord? Wearing small fake bullshit jewelry like this? Stop it. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and I'll return your recompense upon your own head. That's right, man. Because he's going to raise up Judah, man. Judah is a lion's whelp. Yeah, so all this thing is just brewing up. This is the beginning of the end. We're just scratching the surface, man. And we're waiting on that MOTB. And that MOTB is true and will come to pass. Like everything else that's been predicted and said via the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Filtered through the scriptures. You know, by the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of GMS, man. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them into the Sabian, so people fall off. For the Lord Yahweh Yahushua has spoken it. I proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. That's right. When we get these different heathens, man, and we got them in these different chains of bondage or whatever sectors or barracks they're staying in, they're gonna be providing us their seed, and their seed is gonna be for manual labor. The same way, if you have a kid in America, God forbid you're not set up like how we are, right? As men and different women of Israel and America going through the circumstances that we're in. If you have a child, or when you were born, you are now fucking a property of the system. Because, yeah, you can make it, the dreams, but, when shit's the fan, you're not going to make it. And you go into the workforce, and you're going to be America's best slave, and you're going to help the GDP, you're going to help the economy, you're going to shut up, and you're going to be happy. Yes, that's what we go through to their daughters, man, because that's what they did to us. They stripped us of our best attributes. They force gods to be basketball players and rappers and entertainers. Not that that's an issue for us, not that that's hard for us to do, but that's not our best attribute, man. That's just a side. It's a side hustle. But because of it being so lucrative in America, we focus upon it and people glorify it. But bruh, Jake is so powerful beyond physical attributes and just like the entertainment. Jake is the best of everything. Jake is supposed to be the president of the earth. Proverbs chapter 28, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Jake is supposed to be in any office or position on the right-hand side in righteousness. There should be a so-called Israelite man at the forefront of it. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen. That's what we're coming into, man. And that's what they hate, because they're being knocked off chip by chip. And if they're not being knocked off, they're knocking themselves out because it's too much for them to handle. They don't even want to see the end. We're talking about Esau, Edom here, and the rest of his heathen compadres. Assemble yourselves and come, ye all together, ye heathen. Gather yourselves round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. That's right. Beat your plowshares into swords. So whatever you're using to make money, your farm and garden tools, if you were a taxi driver, go pick up a gap. Go to the field. And that's what they're doing in Iran. They're mustering up the people. They're pushing out the narrative and the propaganda. They're riling the people up, speaking all their Arab shit, and they bring up the Persian War, which is real stuff. They're bringing up their history, getting the guys into that flora. So this is the time that it's very beautiful, man. Going to show you that the Lord really controls things, because 2-3 years ago, yeah, things were brewing up, but it wasn't like this. And we know 2-3 years from now, things are definitely not gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? So every day is really the best day, because it's only gonna get more worse. But bad news for the world is good news for the elect. And if they prolong this thing, this is bad news for us. Because we're here even more longer. We have to keep working and just being a part of this rat race. And it's very important that even if things are going well, speaking of myself first and foremost, I've been seeing a financial jump throughout the Yahushua. It's still important to not lose focus and to always understand the main goal. Because we can't buy our way into the kingdom. It ain't like money's gonna be worth anything in a few days to years to weeks, So it's like, what true value and what safety is that? We got rich people that are dying all the time. You can't buy a heart all the time. They be trying, but if it's your time, it's time to go, man. We cannot store up our treasures upon the planet Earth. We gotta store up in heaven. Like what? Our future, the want and the need to be a king. You gotta be a king, Jake. Look at what you've been going through our whole lives. You owe yourself to be a king. Obviously, it's of the Lord to crown us, but through the spirit, through this flesh, we must work out, our ways. And our brother Zah, he delivers us to his right hand side at all times and always keeps us there, man, and protects us. And what's the word I'm looking for? Sup with us. Put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come ye down, for the press is full of fats, overflowing, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahushua is near decision. So you're gonna have you're gonna have North Korea, you're gonna have China, you're gonna have India, you're gonna have Ishmael, you're gonna have Elam, you're gonna have Esau, he's already over there. You're gonna have Amalek, you're gonna have Amen. Oh my God, man. The Lord is beautiful, man. Call Halam La Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because all these different nations are going to come together because of their allies and the different pulling points, because oil is going to be a topic. There's going to be different resources that are stolen. The neighbor's going to do this to that. And you have to go to, man, the Lord is beautiful how all this works out in one another. Because, you know what I'm saying, these kings on the earth couldn't have done it on their own. If they could have, they would have been done it. But the Lord has really held back, like it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 7. He's really had his angels hold back these winds of destruction, man. You can see them coming simultaneously. We could feel it, man. It's like, yep, you right on time. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting for you. It's like through the flood, you want to say you've been late, or like, where the hell you been at? You know what I'm saying? But these judgments right on time, man. Right on time, going to show you that the Lord is very calculated, very much above us. Our thoughts is not his thoughts. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. So it's going to be spiritually dark out here. It's going to be dark days physically and spiritually. And there's going to be nuclear soot literally covering the skies. The Lord Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Yahweh, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of his children. So we're going to be, I'm a part of that number. We're going to be cheering, man, while the rest of the world is in confusion. They don't have the wine. They don't have this oil. The Wadi Al-Bashim Yahushua, this is revealed unto us in Abarat Zah, and may stay with us. Because in these times, more than ever, man, you can't even forget having a regular conversation with somebody in the world. If you're able to do that, props to you. I try not to, because I'm not going to risk my mental health. I don't even throw no kind of pearls to the swine, nothing. You know what I'm saying? People of the world, they don't know nothing. All they know is Israel, Palestine, and America naval force. Okay. It's much bigger and better than that. This is just the scratch, man. We about to go into World War III with ICBM nuclear missiles that are shot from one continent to another, where humanity is about to be decimated. We're about to lose majority of the people on the planet Earth. The only ones that are going to be saved is the Lord's favorite. And he's going to start with them to rebuild the planet Earth. How mind-blowing is that? And all you guys who passed away will come back through the loins of your heirs and them. The Israelites will come through the elect, and the heathens will come through the spoils of war, which are still kept alive. Which are most likely the Lord's probably going to leave a lot of his elites, his worst of the worst, you know what I'm saying? And we'll start from there. Well, not Abaratazah. This is Abaratazah. We be partakers in this judgment and this prophecy, but this is definitely going to happen. So shall ye know that I am the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. And it shall not come to pass in that day that the mountain shall drop new wine, and hills shall flow with milk, and rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and fountains shall come forth at the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egyptos, Babylon, shall be a desolation. Edom, so-called white man, shall be desolate wilderness for the violence of the children of Yahweh, because they have sinned. They have shed innocent blood in their hand, man. That has afforded their affliction, especially even after the Lord, claimed and told him it was done, man. Esau Edom, he never has enough. Look what he's doing right now to these people in the middle, so-called Middle East, man. You read some of these statements in the narrative of Esau Edom, it's like you have to know the Bible to really be at peace with what he says. And even when you know these scriptures, it's still like, damn, man. Esau really like this animated when it comes to the left-hand side, man. He really has a thirst for blood. He's really, what's the scripture say? Not children of the wicked, not that one, but he cannot go to bed unless he has violence on his head and on his mind, unless he's completed violence. But they bloodthirsty people, man. He's really the hammer of the earth, and we're getting to see why the Lord's about to do him so bad. Every building that you see in America is going to be decimated down to powder. Every green grass is going to be uprooted and uplifted. Every tree, every man is going to be gone, blown away. Blessed to save via the church of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua dwelleth in Zion. So the Lord hear our cry. The Lord knows everything that's going on. Everything's from a point in time, and he's swiftly on his way back. As we see, we must just keep paying attention. And this thing keeps blowing up. It doesn't slow down at all. And we stay in the spirit, and we partake of the glory of his coming, and and salvation. So that, Allah is edifying and straight to the point. Want to give all the glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, the Ba'ashem, Apostle, Muslim, so I'm going to tell you out here in the faith, to work to the sincerity. To the next one. Shalom.